County. I know Chief Love will speak more about this, but this is something we encourage all public and private schools to take advantage of.
Teams are typically comprised of a member of school leadership, a mental health professional, and trained school safety personnel. These teams assess students' conduct and distinguish between behaviors that present the risk of violent behavior and those that don't. And they make appropriate recommendations and referrals to services. Since 2020, all law enforcement officers in New Jersey have been directed to notify a child's school when the officer is made aware that the child has experienced an ACE, an adverse childhood experience. An experienced trainer from Care Plus New Jersey has been training schools on how to build the assessment care teams and to develop protocols for the teams to handle and respond to these notifications. That training continues to be available to all Bergen County schools. Second, the task force focused on physical security. Each year, Bergen County Risk Mitigation Planner, BCPO agent Bill Stallone works with local departments to conduct security assessments of schools, of houses of worship, and of high-traffic buildings. Over the past nearly 15 years, he has conducted risk assessments of nearly 1,000 buildings, with each of those assessments resulting in a detailed recommendation about how to make those buildings safer. These assessments also translate into the opportunity to apply for state and federal grant funding to support physical safety improvements and hiring security personnel. This year alone, Bergen County schools and houses of worship received $820,000 in grant funding to purchase equipment and hire security personnel. Third, I want to talk about the anonymous tip reporting application, LiveSafe. We know that students are often those with the most relevant information about what is going on with their peers and in their schools. At the same time, studies have shown that students rarely share their security concerns outside their peer group. This may be because they do not want to become involved, or because they simply do not know how to go about sharing the information. We can and should leverage the technology that is likely already in their hands, cell phones. The LiveSafe app provides students with the ability to report any concerns directly and confidentially to law enforcement. Regarding school shooters specifically, one recent medical journal study reports that most school shooters communicated an intent to do harm, and that each of those communications was a missed opportunity for intervention. That report also contends that young people need to be educated about how mass shooters communicate an intent to do harm and must be empowered to report it. LiveSafe is one of those tools that we can give to our young people to empower them to report concerning communications. Importantly, the LiveSafe app is not just for students. It is available to and should be utilized by all Bergen County residents. LiveSafe includes a number of other features, including a panic button, safe walk to safely virtually walk a friend home, local mental health and substance abuse support resources, and the ability for students or anyone to communicate directly with responding emergency personnel in the event of a lockdown. The app is most effective when it is widely used and familiar to all users. I urge all of you to download the LiveSafe app and familiarize yourself with it. The Bergen County Prosecutor's Office will continue to support these trainings, recommendations, as well as new and ongoing conversations. We are proud of the work that has been done, but we recognize that this work is never ending. Our communities are safest when all of us, law enforcement, schools, houses of worship, government, mental health providers, the private sector, and families and communities work together, share information, resources, and expertise.
All the data suggests that there is leakage in these incidents. When there have been prior school shootings, almost in every single school shooting, there has been a leakage. In other words, the person who was going to these atrocious acts told someone, or they mentioned it, or they tweeted it, or they texted a friend. Something as small as a passing comment by another student, by a parent or a neighbor, could be vital in deterring a mass casualty event. So my challenge to anyone that is hearing this is do every small thing you can to notify someone that there may be an issue. Not everyone is struggling through mental health crisis, but there are people who need help.